I mean, consciousness is, I mean, scientists have all sorts of different ideas about it, but they can't really understand consciousness. They can understand the mind, the brain, and they know how the brain functions in different areas of the brain with different capacities. They know about neurons and synapses and electrical signals in the brain and all that. But when it comes to consciousness, it feels like consciousness is connected not just to the limited to the brain function, but has the capacity beyond that. And there are scientists now that are saying that our consciousness is, you know, multi-dimensional and designed to connect up to all sorts of realities that you just don't have with one sort of physical reality. And I believe that's true. So I believe my consciousness is my capacity to be able to engage creation, life, spiritual, physical, dimensional, and it is, you could say it's your mind, but not limited to the brain function. So therefore you have electrical impulses that go beyond the limit of the brain, which can be detected, but consciousness can travel anywhere. You know, so my consciousness can be shifted from being here and attentive to here to be somewhere else. That could be the realms of heaven. So I can shift my consciousness, which is my soul's consciousness, to engage my spirit consciousness, which is different. So my spirit can be conscious in the realms of heaven and is all the time. My soul can be conscious here, but I can bring them together. So my spiritual consciousness can inform my soul consciousness anytime because I'm connected, quantumly entangled. And the other way around, my soul consciousness can engage where my spirit is, and I can become aware, cognitive of where I am. So it's available to travel, receive information, be aware, and choose realities. So I can consciously choose a reality to form around my life. Because my consciousness, you could say, is linked to the mind of Christ. God thoughts. So God had intentions, desires, motives, if you like. He then has thoughts. He then has words that form those thoughts into a creational reality. And he wants us to learn how to know his heart, to brood in his heart, to know his heart, to become a voice. So we resonate with his thoughts. There are thoughts, and then we speak them. So we become a voice that forms reality. So intention is the focus of desire. So I have a desire for this, or let's say I'm engaging with God. God shows me his desire for, let's say, my granddaughter. Okay. So then I can then focus his desire, because it's now my desire. I want that for my granddaughter, let's say, because he does. And then my intention is to actually call that into being. You know, so God calls things that be not as if they are. So I could call something into being for my granddaughter. Now, I can't force that in the sense of make something happen to her that she's not in agreement with, but I can certainly bless her with God's intention, and I can speak to her spirit, and I can call forth that intention within her so she comes into agreement with it. So there's things you can do. So when I'm engaging the heart of God, I want to know his intention for me today. Is there anything that my life is aligned to today that's aligned to his intention that I can focus on? So that might mean, yeah, engage the earth shield, perhaps. You know, begin to engage with angels or do something. So I'm drawing on the desires of his heart that are then outworked in focused intention. Because my intentions can be good, my intentions could be bad. But if my intentions are focused on God's intentions, then they're going to have power behind them or energy behind them that can bring about the formation of that intention. So God intended to create the world. He desired to share his love with something outside of Father, Son, and Spirit. So his desire to share love caused him to have an intention to create the world. but then he had to create the world. Having just the intention is not the reality. So then he called things that never existed as if they did, and they manifested. So he chose the reality of the world, of the creation, and it formed out of the desire he had and the intention to fulfill that desire that then was in practice. Intent, good people say, you know, what do they say? You know, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, you know, which obviously, you know, it probably is. I don't agree with their version of hell, but I do agree with people have a lot of good intentions and they never ever work, or they never happens. So you can have good intentions, but they don't do anything unless you put them into practice. You focus the intention and you choose the reality that that intention would manifest. So I believe one of God's big intentions is that he wants the world to awaken to love. He wants people to be aware that he is love and he loves them unconditionally. That I know that's the desire of his heart, and I know he wants that at work. So his intention is that will be manifested, but he wants us to manifest it. So we catch hold of his desire and we agree with his intention, and then our thoughts are aligned to his thoughts in that sense, and then we can begin to speak an awakening to love into reality. I choose the reality that a love will awaken around my life in my interaction with people. I might not be able to choose the whole world will suddenly awaken, but I can say my sphere of government around my life is going to be characterized by unconditional love. And I can choose intentionally. And then when I interact with people, I need to make that intention be how I function. So let's say I interact with someone who annoys me. Am I going to get frustrated and angry with them, or am I going to show them unconditional love? Choosing perhaps to forgive them if they're annoying, or choosing to be kind and patient and tolerant and good to them, so that other people might get so annoyed with them that they basically say things to them that might be nasty. What I'm going to do is affirm them and love them. Find ways of actually affirming them in spite of the fact that they might annoy me. I choose a better way. I choose the fruit of the Spirit to be love and joy and peace and kindness and patience and all those good things. I've got to direct that towards that person so that person will feel loved. And they might not have felt that from other people, because if they're an annoying sort of person, other people might express their annoyance. Well, I need to be careful I don't express annoyance, but I express love. So I practically can do something about that in my own life, as well as just, well, I choose the reality that the world is going to awaken to love. That reality has got to be manifested around me. Otherwise, you know, I'm just sort of having an easy thing. Oh, great. Let love, I don't have to do anything. I just let it happen. Well, I've got to be in agreement with it, and it's got to be something that I live. Because that's the stuff I can make an impact on. You know, I might not be able to make a personal impact on people living in the heart of some jungle somewhere, but I certainly can make an impact on the people that I meet every day, or the people that I'm in relationship with. So I can focus that intention for that reality to form, at least for that group of people. And then in general, if I have sort of, you know, I can call and choose realities, and I can choose them, and I begin to speak that out, then I'm going to be part of agreeing with a whole lot of other people for a bigger scale outpouring of that love that people will awaken to love. So that's how I see intention be focused into action. Or creating it, you know, so you can create something, or you can see something manifest through what you do in the natural realm. But our consciousness is that can connect with God, can connect with the Spirit, and then come into agreement with that connection, which then means my thoughts are like his thoughts. And then my words will be like his words, and then creation will respond to my words, because I carry the authority of the word of God. I speak God's intention into being like he does. in the beginning, but he wants us to be creative like that as well. So I can choose realities around my life. And there are times when I've chosen realities which would be called miraculous in terms of time realities or space realities of shifting and moving in time and space, or other realities of things which are, well, that door is going to be open, but it's locked. So I need it open. So I'm going to open the door and it opens, which I've seen happen. And I've opened padlocks which were locked and things, because I've chosen the reality when I knew that reality aligned to God's heart in that situation. And then I felt free to do something.